If you have a bank account, you need to know about this.
This surveillance footage captures the moment scammers impersonating federal agents showed up at a victim's home and walked away with his life savings.
Scammers are literally knocking on doors, pretending to be the FBI, pretending to be Treasury agents, and walking off with everything people worked their whole lives for.
The losses are in the millions of dollars. From 2023 to May of 2025, the FBI Boston documented 103 cases of a courier being used to pick up cash or gold bars from victims, totaling $26 million. Almost all of the victims were over the age of 60.
But how do you get from a simple phone call to handing strangers your entire retirement? That's the terrifying part. This is where the scam takes over.
I was looking on Facebook. It looked like a shortcut to Messenger.
When Barb clicked on that link, her computer went black and a message popped up. She'd been hacked. She needed to call Microsoft tech support.
So she did. And on the other end of the line, it wasn't Microsoft, it was the scammers. The first thing they did was hit her with fear. They told her hackers were inside her computer.
It's like, oh my gosh, look how many people are hacking your machine. Look how many people are, hacking your phone and have access. They're listening. All these foreign people are listening to your phone call.
They told her criminals were using her social security number, and they even claimed her bank accounts were about to be frozen. Barb panicked. And that's exactly what they wanted. The scammers didn't let her off the phone. They kept her on the line for hours.
Tech support said the hackers were using her IP address and social security number to buy child porn on the dark web. She was in big trouble, and she should report the fraud.
They even transferred her to a so-called fraud investigator. But it was all the same team, just different voices with different titles.
The fraud investigator, he was an imposter who said Barb needed to protect her money from the hackers by first liquidating her savings. With the scammers directing Barb every step of the way, the transactions began. She asked her investment firm to sell all her stock and transfer the money to U.S. Bank.
And Barb wasn't the only victim of this crime. These scammers used a very similar approach with a man from Brentwood.
It's extremely elaborate, and not only are there phone calls, there's faxes, there's all kinds of documents coming in. They were presenting him with a fake investigation, all on letterhead from the FBI, Treasury Department.
Page after page of official-looking proof designed to overwhelm her. And when you're staring at what looks like official government paperwork, when someone on the phone is telling you your money isn't safe, you stop questioning. You just follow instructions. That's how Barb ended up doing things she never thought she'd do. Step by step, move by move, the scammers walked her right into the trap. Barb wasn't careless. She wasn't naive. She was confused. And that's the thing about these scams. They work because they overwhelm you with fear and confusion. And confusion doesn't just show up here. It shows up the second you turn 65 and try to figure out Medicare. That's why I tell people about Chapter. Medicare is confusing on purpose. Mailers, nonstop calls, fine print that costs people thousands. That's why I recommend Chapter. They're independent, so their advisors don't get paid to push one plan over another. Their only job is to help you, and they compare every single plan nationwide, more than 24,000, so you see all your options. I've seen it work. Julie from Kansas was stuck in a plan that charged her extra just to see her doctor. After switching with Chapter, she saved $400 a year. On average, seniors save about $1,100. So if you or your parents are on Medicare or about to turn 65, go to askchapter.org/Boyd or call 803-792-4192. It's free, and you'll talk to a real human who treats you like family. Because when confusion can cost you everything, having the right people in your corner could save you thousands. Now here's the shocking part about these scams. These victims never owned gold bars or coins before this. They weren't collectors. They were convinced by scammers that the only way to keep their money safe was to turn it into something else. For Barb, that meant selling off nearly $300,000 in investments and wiring the money to what she thought was a secure company. What showed up at her door? Boxes of gold coins, and just like the scammers planned, a courier came to pick them up. She thought it was part of an FBI investigation. Instead, it was part of the theft. In Brentwood, Tennessee, it was the same playbook, only bigger. This time, $650,000 worth of gold bars. And when the scammer said agents would be there to secure it, he believed them. Look at this footage again. That's not the FBI. That's not Treasury agents. That's a scammer walking away with a man's life savings. And he handed it over willingly. And once it's gone, it's gone.
Why do you think we're seeing scammers trying to get gold bars?
I think it's an easy way to move money to the bad guys.
They are seeing a spike in what they call gold bar courier scams, where people are being defrauded out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, often their life savings, by couriers who pick up gold bars and cash from their victims.
They put a tremendous pressure to act quickly before the person has a chance to call a loved one, call a family member.
And here's the cruel twist. These victims weren't just pressured to move their money. They were told to keep it quiet. Don't tell your spouse. Don't tell your kids. Don't even tell your banker. And when you're isolated like that, you're trapped.
Law enforcement is never going to tell you not to talk to your wife about something like this that's going on.
And on July 8th, Brentwood police and federal agents swoop in, arresting the two low-level couriers, both of whom are Chinese nationals. According to police, one of the men entered the country illegally.
Now, it's fortunate these scammers who stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Brentwood man got arrested, but it doesn't change the emotional impact, nor does it give the victims back their money. Because once the money is gone, there is nothing you can do about it, and the banks will not help you.
So here's what you need to know to protect yourself and your family. First, the FBI is never going to call you and tell you to move your money. If you hear that, hang up. Second, no government agent is ever coming to your home to pick up cash, coins, or gold. That's a scam every single time. Third, if anyone tells you not to talk to your family, that is the biggest red flag there is. And if you've got parents or grandparents over 60, please talk to them about this.
These scammers are targeting seniors, and they'll take everything if you let them. They don't just steal money. They steal futures. They steal trust. Think about it. 40 years of saving gone in one phone call. People who should be enjoying retirement are left starting over in their 70s. That's not just theft. That's cruelty. And what makes it worse? The banks don't always step in. Victims walk into their branch, wiring out hundreds of thousands of dollars, and nobody stops them. Nobody pulls them aside and says, "Are you sure?" And when the money's gone, the answer is almost always the same. Too bad, nothing we can do. That's a gut punch on top of everything else. And here's the part that really gets me. These scammers hide behind fake authority. They pretend to be the FBI, the IRS, the bank, but they're just criminals with a headset sitting in some boiler room overseas. They know exactly what they're doing, and they don't care who they hurt. That's why we talk about this, because the more you know, the harder it is for them to trick you. The more we share these stories, the fewer victims they can claim. So tell me in the comments, have you or someone you love ever gotten a call like this? Don't hold back. Your story could be the thing that makes someone else recognize the red flags before it's too late. And if you really want to understand how these scammers operate, I got a video where I bait them inside their own call center. You'll hear exactly how they talk, the lies they tell, and yeah, we'll have some laughs at their expense. But it's not just funny. It's educational. When you know better, you do better. So go check that video out after this. And before you go, do me a favor. Hit the like button right now so YouTube pushes this warning in front of more people, and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Because unfortunately, the next scam might already be at your front door. Together, we can outsmart them, but only if we spread the word.